categories and then specific categories within those. And we've actually done a lot of these. Like, we've done all of the human body ones and food ones, but we still have a bunch of animal facts and history facts. So we're going to be doing some of those today. So sit back, relax, and I hope that you enjoy. We're going to be starting with facts about dogs and cats. There are about 450 different breeds of domestic dogs. Cats were first kept as pets in the Middle East about 4,000 years ago. An average-sized dog's mouth can exert up to 200 pounds of pressure per square inch. Larger breeds can exert up to 400 pounds per square inch. Just like human fingerprints, the ridged pattern on every cat's nose is unique. The same is true of dogs' noses. A breed of dog known as the Loontoon has 6 toes and can close its ears. Calico cats are almost always female. There are more than 100 different domestic cat breeds. Dogs are the only mammals other than humans that have walked to the North and South Poles. The largest breed of domesticated cat is the ragdoll. Males can weigh up to 20 pounds and females up to 15 pounds. The world's smallest dog breed is the Chihuahua, named after the Mexican state. The Manx cat originated in Isle of Man. The Manx's lack of tail is caused by a gene mutation. One of the largest domestic dog breeds, the Saint Bernard, was bred by monks at the Saint Bernard Hospice in the Swiss Alps. It was a well-known mountain rescue dog. Moscow, Russia has a museum dedicated to cats. Basset hounds can't swim well, but are quite adorable. 3 dogs survived the sinking of the Titanic: a Newfoundland, a Pomeranian, and a Pekingese. In Paris, France, there are more dogs than people. The Basenji is an African hunting dog that washes itself like a cat and yodels and chortles, although it does not naturally know how to bark. There are more than 500 million domestic cats in the world. The Scottish Fold is the only cat breed whose ears fold down toward the front of the head. Scottish Folds are born with straight ears, but they begin folding forward within 3 weeks. Dogs demonstrate incredible problem-solving abilities, an understanding of basic arithmetic, and mastery of navigating complex social relationships. A 2009 study found that the average dog can learn 165 words, which is on par with a 2-year-old child. Border Collies are generally considered the smartest dog breed, followed by Poodles and German Shepherds. Now we're going to do some facts about butterflies. Butterflies taste with their hind feet. A butterfly passes through 4 life cycle stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. caterpillars spend most of their time eating to store enough energy to transform into their adult shape. Caterpillars shed their skin 5 times as they grow. After 2 weeks, a caterpillar finds a suitable plant stem and grips onto it with its hind legs. Once attached to the twig, the caterpillar will shed its skin again, this time to reveal a bright green protective shell called a chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, or pupa, the caterpillar completes its metamorphosis to transform itself from larva to adult. The process takes about 10 days. After an adult butterfly emerges from the chrysalis, it must stretch its wings and let them dry out before flying for the first time. There are approximately 20,000 known species of butterflies. Millions of monarch butterflies fly south each winter, traveling up to 2,800 miles from Canada and the eastern United States to Mexico and California. A migrating monarch butterfly can flap its wings up to 2,000 times per minute. The monarch butterfly is foul-tasting and poisonous due to the toxic chemicals it ingests when feeding on milkweed during the caterpillar stage. The viceroy butterfly, which looks like a small monarch, is even more unpleasant tasting. Before monarch and queen butterflies became beautiful winged creatures, they're less than adorable caterpillars that often eat the eggs of their own species. A group of caterpillars is called an army. Butterflies have 4 wings. Most butterflies rest with their wings folded together above their bodies. Glasswing butterflies have see-through wings. The Queen Alexandra's birdwing is the largest butterfly, with a wingspan of up to 11 inches. Next, we are going to do facts about caves. According to the National Cave and Karst Research Institute, caves are naturally occurring hollow spaces in the ground. They are large enough for a person to enter and have multiple rooms or passageways to explore. Speleology refers to the scientific study and exploration of caves. Spelunking, however, refers to the recreational pastime of exploring cave systems. This is also called caving or potholing in the United Kingdom. There are several different types of cave, each formed by different natural processes. Lava tubes are formed through volcanic activity. As lava flows down the flanks of volcanoes, the surface of the lava flow where the molten rock meets the air cools and hardens first. These sections insulate the lava flowing inside them. When the eruption stops, a hollow tube is left behind. Sometimes the last remaining bits of lava create stalactites and stalagmites. Just off the southern coast of South Korea, the multicolored carbonate spelothiums of the lava tube cave system in Jeju Volcanic Island attracts many tourists. The air route from Seoul to Jeju Island served over 11 million passengers in 2015. Sea caves occur on nearly every cliffed coast or coasts where wave Glacier caves are created in glaciers because of melting ice and flowing water. The caves tend to be unstable as their shapes and forms change from year to year. Ice caves are different from glacial caves. Ice caves are rock caves that have permanent ice deposits. Solution caves are the most common type of cave. They form in karst, a type of landscape made from soluble rocks like carbonate limestone, dolomite, or marble, or evaporite, gypsum, anhydrite, or halite. Rainwater collects carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and soil and forms a weak carbonic acid. The acid seeps through fractures in the ground and dissolves the surrounding rock. Over time, the cracks become large enough to form caves. Cave formations are called speleogens and speleothems. Speleogens are created during the formation of the cave. Speleothems are formed later by mineral deposits. Stalactites are icicle-shaped deposits that grow downward from a cave's ceiling. Stalagmites are similar but grow upward from the floor. Stalactites and stalagmites will occasionally connect, forming columns. Flowstones are sheet-like deposits from which water flows down the walls or along the floors of a cave. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is the world's largest network of caverns. There are more than 350 miles of underground passages on 5 different levels. New caves and passageways are still being discovered. Cave of the Crystals is a cave of large selenite crystals underneath the Sierra de Nica mountain in Chihuahua, Mexico. It was discovered by brothers Juan and Pedro Sanchez. The largest of the cave's crystals is over 37 feet long. In 2018, 12 members of the Wild Boars soccer team and their 25-year-old assistant coach became trapped in Thailand's Tham Luang Nang Non cave. Soon after they entered, heavy rainfall began to flood the cave system, blocking the exit. Monsoons were not expected to start for another month. The boys and their coach were eventually rescued by cave divers. Fun fact about that is that my dad has a helicopter company that sells medical interiors of helicopters, and he sold interiors to the Royal Thai Police, and it was his interiors in the helicopters that picked up the boys and took them to the hospital. We're now going to do some facts about volcanoes to go with those. There are some 1,900 active volcanoes on Earth. The Ring of Fire is a seismically active belt of volcanoes and tectonic plate boundaries that stretches 24,900 miles around the Pacific Ocean. About 75% of the world's volcanoes occur within the Ring of Fire. The word volcano comes from the name Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Mauna Loa in Hawaii is the world's largest active volcano, rising approximately 30,000 feet from the base is called magma when it's still underneath the earth, and lava when it comes spewing out of a volcano. Fresh lava can reach temperatures as high as 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Nevado Ojos del Salado on the Argentina-Chile border is the highest active volcano in the world at 22,615 feet above sea level. The most famous eruption of Mount Vesuvius in southern Italy occurred in 79 AD when lava and ashes buried the towns of Pompeii and Herculaneum. The Hawaiian Islands are composed of shield volcanoes that have built up from the seafloor to the surface. The deadliest known volcano eruption occurred in Indonesia when the 13,000-foot Mount Tambora blew 2 million tons of debris into the air in April 1815. The debris in the atmosphere released by Mount Tambora's eruption darkened skies all around the world and continued to block sunlight for years afterward. In 1816, parts of the United States saw snow in June or July, thanks to the persistent cold caused by the eruption on the other side of the world. All told, the Mount Tambora eruption claimed more than 70,000 lives. Icelandic eruptions are the mildest type and consist of a flow of lava from long fissures or cracks in the ground. Some lavas are liquid enough to flow downhill at 35 miles per hour. Others move at the rate of only inches per day. The speed depends on the temperature and composition of the lava. Since 1983, the Hawaiian volcano Mount Kilauea has been in almost continual eruption, producing rivers of lava that flow to the sea 30 miles away. The great clouds of ash from the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens drifted into Idaho and increased crop yields by an average of 30% throughout the 1980s. When the top of a volcano collapses, a pit called a caldera is formed. When the volcano Krakatau in Indonesia erupted in 1883, people in China, 3,000 miles away, heard the sound. Mars is home to the largest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons. It is roughly 3 times the height of Mount Everest and covers an area nearly the size of Arizona. Next, we are going to be doing facts about inventions, which I think are cool. The first can opener was invented almost 50 years after the first tin can. John Harrington, godson to Queen Elizabeth I, invented a flushing toilet in the 1590s. He installed one for the Queen, but she was not impressed. In 1608, Dutch eyeglass maker Hans Lippershey discovered he could make faraway objects look larger by fitting 2 lenses in a long tube. Italian scientist Galileo Galilei improved Lippershey's telescope in 1609 and used it to look at the stars. In 1668, English scientist Isaac Newton developed the reflecting telescope, which used mirrors rather than lenses. The first bicycle was invented in 1817 by German nobleman Baron von Drey. His wooden-framed, iron-wheeled bicycle was pushed along by the rider's feet. The first successful pedal-driven bicycle was invented by Pierre Lallemand in 1864. The first pedal-driven bicycles became known as bone shakers because they shook every bump in the road. The electric light bulb was invented by Henry Woodward and Matthew Evans in 1874. These Canadians paved the way for Thomas Edison's later improvements to the light bulb. When Thomas Edison died in 1931, he held a world record 1,093 U.S. patents. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. Otto Lilienthal invented the hang glider in the late 19th century. Unfortunately, in 1896, Lilienthal plunged more than 50 feet during one of his test runs and died shortly after. Traffic lights were in use before cars were invented. Mary Anderson invented a swinging arm device with a rubber blade that the driver operated by using a lever. In 1903, Anderson received a patent for what became known as the windshield wiper. Inventor of vaccines and pasteurization, Louis Pasteur was the head of the science program at a French school during the mid-1800s. Movie actress Hedy Lamarr's invention was a matter of national security. Lamar and composer George Antheil developed a secret communications system to help allies in World War II. Their method of manipulating radio frequencies was used to create unbreakable codes. This invention proved invaluable again 2 decades later when it was used aboard naval vessels during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The spread spectrum technology that Lamar helped to pioneer became the key component in the creation of cellular phones, fax machines, and other wireless devices. John Harvey Kellogg and W.K. Kellogg, who invented cornflakes, ran a medical facility called the Battle Creek Sanitarium in the late 1800s. The anti-gravity flight suit invented by Dr. Wilbur Franks in 1941 enabled combat pilots to withstand G-force pressure and extreme acceleration. The hula hoop's origins date back some 3,000 years, when children in ancient Egypt made hoops out of grapevines and twirled them around their waists. Whammo introduced the plastic version of the toy in 1958, and 20 million were sold in the first 6 months. In the late 1950s, Ruth Handler set out to create a grown-up 3-dimensional doll. Handler named her creation after her daughter, and the Barbie doll was introduced in 1959. Handler was one of the founders of the toy giant Mattel. Leo Fender, who invented the first mass-produced electric guitar, never learned to play the guitar. Chindogu is a Japanese term that refers to the strange art of creating seemingly useful yet ultimately useless inventions. Useless because no one would want to be seen with one in public. is the hay fever hat, which consists of a roll of toilet paper secured to the head by a chin strap. Harold von Braunhut came up with the Sea Monkey, a simple three-step kit that allowed youngsters to breed their own aquatic creatures. The wee serpents are actually a unique species of brine shrimp. Women came up with ideas and specifications for such useful items like life rafts, circular saws, medical syringes, and underwater lamps and telescopes. In 1822, Englishman Charles Babbage began designing complex computing machines, which he called engines. He never actually built one, though. The world's first working computer was developed during World War II and used to make secret codes for Germany. The top secret C3 was invented by German engineer Konrad Zuse in 1941. British scientists also built a secret computer during World War II. Called Colossus, it helped break German secret codes and win the war. Juliana Tesoro was a prolific inventor in the textile industry. Flame-resistant fibers and permanent press properties are among her many contributions. The Tesoro Corporation holds more than 125 of her textile-related patents. Ermal Fraze invented the pop-top aluminum can in 1959. In 1963, he received U.S. patent number 3,349,949 for the design. John Landis Mason invented mason jars. Mason also invented screw-top salt shakers. Before that, you just poured salt onto your food willy-nilly. The man who created the Nobel Peace Prize, Alfred Nobel, is also responsible for a destructive invention, dynamite. Next, we're going to do some facts about being an astronaut. Skylab astronauts grew 1.5 to 2.25 inches due to spinal lengthening and straightening as a result of zero gravity. Because of the lack of laundry facilities, astronauts on missions change their socks, shirts, and underwear just every 2 days. They only change their pants once a week. It's sponge bath only for space crews. Water droplets could escape and float out, posing a danger to expensive electronics. To be safe, the astronauts step into a cylindrical stall where they have about a 1-gallon ration of water to use. The dirty water is sucked up by a vacuum and stored in special trash tanks. Water isn't part of the toothbrushing regime at all. NASA developed a unique kind of toothpaste that astronauts swish around without the need for liquid. Contrary to common perception, most garbage is sealed in bags to be brought back to Earth for disposal. It isn't just tossed into orbit. As for the other, shall we say, waste produced on board, astronauts use toilets similar to those back home. Their facilities, however, have no water. Instead, the space toilets use a constant vacuum-like airflow in the bowl to keep things from floating back up in the zero gravity. divers also have to strap in their feet and thighs to keep themselves from floating away mid-act. To sleep, astronauts zip themselves into specially designed sleeping bags that attach to their lockers. Some crew members may also rest in removable bunk beds. Because of objects' tendency to float in space, magnets are a common commodity. Meal trays are magnetic and designed to keep forks, spoons, and knives stuck down. The food packages are adhered to the trays with strips of Velcro. None of that sounds very enticing to me, I will say. Okay. Next up, we're going to do some facts about deadly animals. So, a little scary. About 500 million cases of mosquito-borne diseases such as malaria, dengue, Zika, and West Nile virus occur each year, killing as many as 2.7 million. Venomous snake attacks account for close to 100,000 deaths per year, making these reptiles the deadliest on the planet. Depending on the species of snake and the severity of the bite, death can ensue in a matter of hours if no treatment is given. Dogs infected by the rabies virus cause up to 35,000 human deaths per year. Experts estimate that 1/6 of the Earth's population is infected with some kind of roundworm. The Ascaris roundworm leads to an infection called ascariasis that kills an estimated 4,500 people a year. The scorpion is a highly compact killing machine that takes more than 3,000 human lives every year. The most lethal is the fat-tailed scorpion of North Africa. The tsetse fly transmits sleeping sickness, or African trypanosomiasis. Sleeping sickness threatens some 65 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, but deaths have recently declined to under 1,000 annually. horses are related to zebras, wild asses, and donkeys. The height of a horse is measured in hands, from the ground to the top of the withers, the ridge between the shoulders at the base of the neck. 1 hand equals 4 inches. Horses were first domesticated about 6,000 years ago. Draft horses such as the Clydesdale, Percheron, Belgian, and Shire were bred to carry and pull heavy loads. The Shire horse is the world's largest breed. Shire stallions average just over 17 hands, or 68 inches in height, and weigh as much as 2,200 pounds. Clydesdales have served as a mascot of various beer brands, including Budweiser. Belgian foals weigh about 125 pounds at birth. Light horses are bred for speed, agility, endurance, and riding. Light horse breeds include the Arabian, Morgan, and American quarter horses. The Arabian is one of the world's oldest horse breeds. Nearly every light horse breed today has Arabian bloodlines. The American quarter horse is North America's most popular breed. The Morgan breed originated with a stallion named Figure given to Justin Morgan of Vermont in the late 1700s. Warm bloods are intermediate weight horses created by crossing draft horses and light horses. Ponies are horses that are shorter than 14.2 hands. The fell pony gets its name from the fells, mountains or hills, of northern England, where the breed originated. It has been a recognizable breed since Roman times in England. Horses are born without teeth. Frisian horses have a long mane and tail that are often wavy. The American miniature is a height breed. These horses must measure no more than 34 inches from the last hairs of the mane to the ground. American miniature foals measure from 16 to 21 inches in height at birth. Unlike most other breeds, Shetland ponies are measured in inches rather than hands. Shetland ponies must not exceed 42 inches in height at the withers. In the 1840s, Shetland ponies replaced women and children working in Britain's coal mines. The King of England's royal mews or stables use Cleveland bays in ceremonial duties. During the First Crusade, so many horses died in the desert that the Crusaders were reduced to carrying their supplies on the backs of goats and dogs. Spotted horses have existed for millennia. Cave paintings dating to 25,000 years ago depict spotted horses. Appaloosas, developed by the Nez Perce people in North America, have patterned coats and striped hooves. The Akaltek horse of Turkmenistan is noted for its distinctive metallic sheen. The Gotland pony is a primitive breed native to the island of Gotland in Sweden, where ponies of this type have been documented as far back as the Stone Age. Lipizzaner horses are famous for the difficult airs above the ground dressage movements. The Norwegian fjord horse has a distinctive mane that is dark in the center and light on the outside. Manes are often trimmed to accentuate the dark stripe. The windswept barrier island of Assateague off the coasts of Maryland and Virginia is home to horses known as Assateague horses in Maryland and Chincoteague ponies in Virginia. Though commonly called wild, the feral horses of Assateague Island descend from domesticated horses brought to the island more than 300 years ago. The Przewalski's horse, also known as the Mongolian wild horse or the Taki, is a rare endangered horse native to the steppes of Central Asia. The Brumby is a free-roaming feral horse in Australia. The Falabella miniature horse is one of the smallest horse breeds in the world, standing between 28 and 34 inches tall when fully grown. Despite its size, the Falabella is considered a miniature horse rather than a pony. The Spanish introduced American Mustangs to the Americas. Christopher Columbus brought the first horses on his second journey to the New World. Next, we're going to do a few facts about mammoths and mastodons. Mammoths and mastodons are ancient pachyderms, the distant cousins of modern elephants. Unlike elephants today, which reside in Africa and South Asia, the remains of these ancient mammals are found predominantly in North America and North Asia. Cave paintings and other archaeological evidence show that humans actively hunted mammoths about 30,000 years ago. There is speculation about whether or not this led to the species' extinction. In 1705, the Hudson River Valley village of Claverneck, New York, discovered a large mastodon tooth. This tooth discovery predated uncovering dinosaur fossils by over a century. The tooth was sent to London as evidence of giants, like those described in the Book of Genesis in the Bible. The imagined giant creature was called Incognitum. Similar teeth were found later in South Carolina, where reportedly slaves pointed out that they closely resembled the teeth of African elephants. George Cuvier was inspired by the mastodon's cone-shaped teeth when giving the ancient mammal its name. Mastos and odont are Greek for breast and tooth, respectively. Mastodon teeth are suited for crushing twigs and other woody browse. They dwelled in forests. Sorry about my stomach. dinosaurs existed until people found dinosaur fossils. Like, it's kind of crazy. Okay, now we're going to do some facts about cities. This may be our last category, but we'll see. More than half of the world's population currently lives in cities. Megacities are defined as urban areas with a population of more than 10 million people. Tokyo, Japan is the largest city in the world with a population of more than 37 million people. Large men known as oshiya or pushers are employed to cram commuters onto Tokyo's overcrowded subways and trains. Chicago has more movable bridges than any other city in the world. Delhi, India is the second largest city in the world with a population over 32 million. Delhi and New Delhi are the same city. New Delhi is actually a district within India's capital city of Delhi, which has government buildings. While Tokyo only gained 559,000 people between 2010 and 2020, Delhi gained over 8 million people in that time frame. Tokyo boasts the world's first public monorail line, built to coincide with the 1964 Olympics. It runs between downtown and Haneda International Airport. Shanghai is the world's third largest city with a population of 28 million. The complete name of Los Angeles is technically El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora La Reina de Los Angeles de Porciúncula. Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh and the fourth most populous city with nearly 22.5 million residents. The people of Dhaka speak English and Bengali. St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest permanently inhabited city in the United States. Founded in 1565, St. Augustine is filled with reminders of its early Spanish history. The fifth most populous city in the world is Sao Paulo, Brazil, with over 22 million people. Mexico City ranks as the sixth largest. Because it was built on a soft lake bed, Mexico City is sinking at a rate of nearly 4 inches per year. Pittsburgh has more city-maintained steps than any other city in the world. If stacked up, they would reach a height of 26,000 feet. That's an interesting fact. Cairo, Egypt is Africa's most populous city. Lagos, Nigeria, and Kinshasa, Congo follow. I definitely thought Lagos was the most populous city. Some of these might be outdated, by the way. Rio de Janeiro's name means River of January in Portuguese. The trains in Mumbai, India carry around 6 million people per day. That's more than the entire population of Finland. Osaka, Japan has about 19 million residents. New York City is the largest city in the United States, with over 8 million in the city proper. A visitor walking the Las Vegas Strip could see everything from replicas of the Eiffel Tower and the New York skyline to dazzling water fountains that dance to music. The heaviest building in the world is in Bucharest, Romania. The Palace of the Parliament weighs over Savannah, Georgia was America's first planned city. James Edward Oglethorpe founded Savannah in 1733, centering the city around 24 squares. His layout remains intact today. Athens, Greece is Europe's oldest city. The city of Amsterdam in the Netherlands has more bicycles than people. Calcutta, formerly Calcutta, remains as India's third most populous city after Delhi and Mumbai. Helsinki's sidewalks get heated from underground. Kuala Lumpur means river junction in Malay. This Malaysian city sits where the Klang and Gombak rivers flow together. London's famous indoor marketplace Harrods sold cocaine and cocaine-related products to shoppers until 1916. Manila, Philippines has some 14.4 million inhabitants. Its population density is one of the greatest of any city in the world. Buenos Aires, Argentina is South America's second most populous city after Sao Paulo, Brazil. Rome, Italy has a museum dedicated to pasta. An abandoned network of underground stone quarries beneath Paris hold the remains of 6 million people. Istanbul, Turkey has more than 15 million inhabitants and straddles 2 continents. Vienna, Austria boasts the world's oldest zoo, dating to 1752. Okay, we have a little bit of time. I want this video to be an hour, so I'll just do some Eiffel Tower facts next. A crew of 300 workers assembled the tower in 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days. They came in under budget and on time for the start of the World's Fair, or the International Exposition in Paris. The Eiffel Tower was assembled from 18,038 iron parts. Every 7 years, at least 25 workers use approximately 60 tons of paint to rust-proof the tower. It was the world's tallest building until 1931, when it was topped by the Empire State Building in New York City. In just 1 year, the tower recouped nearly the entire cost of its construction due to ticket sales. On the 4 sides of the tower, the names of 72 famous French scientists and engineers are engraved to honor their national contributions. Heat from the sun can cause the tower to expand up to 3/4 of an inch. During the cold winter months, the tower shrinks approximately 6 inches. So sorry about my stomach growling. I will eat after this video and then it'll stop. The Eiffel Tower weighs more than 10,000 tons. Today, the tower attracts about 7 million visitors per year. That actually seems like kind of a low number. The French landmark was nearly demolished in 1909 when its original 20-year permit expired, but because its antennae were used for telecommunications, the Eiffel Tower was spared. That's crazy that they were like, yeah, we'll leave this up for 20 years and then we'll just get rid of it. But now look at it. Okay, so that was a ton of facts about a ton of different categories. There is a Bible category in this that I have never done any of the facts from, just because I'm not personally a big Bible gal, and I feel like that's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Non-inclusive. Non-inclusive to just spit Bible facts at you. But yeah, so we will see if we see this book one more time at some point in the future, but if not, I will find a way to find more facts. I'll get another book or just